This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And folks, I have a returning guest. In fact, we could say she's on the hot side, along with another two-time guest I had, Sandy Johnson. And folks, I had so much fun talking to this woman the first time I had her on. That was 2017.
Wow,
Uh,
I can't believe time flies.
Time flies. And now I've got her on Zoom and I can see her lovely face and her beautiful red hair, and she's rocking that denim jacket. Man, she's still hot. Folks, I give you the beautiful Lisa London. How do you do, Lisa?
Hi, I'm fabulous. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. As I said to you before we started recording, COVID's been quite the bitch out there, but I'm happy to be able to do this format. And yeah, I work through the pandemic. I work as a cleaner. I don't get paid to do my podcast. I do this because I enjoy it.
Hmm.
I enjoy talking to people like yourself. I
And
get
we
paid.
appreciate that enjoyment, believe me.
Yeah, but this is a treat during pandemic just to go on here and Zoom and be able to do this and have you come on here. And I thought about you most recently because I've seen these posts comes up, Bigfoot or Bust by Jim
Yes,
Wynorski. I'm like, gee, Jim Wynorski's been busy during the pandemic.
yes, yes, yes. It's so funny. I've been almost guilty about how I've been thriving work-wise. I've shot all through the pandemic. Um, of course, there were, the certain lockdowns, shutdowns, but then the minute it started up again, I was really blessed. I shot a whole bunch of films. And
Including one called Quarantine.
yes, and that I believe that movie eventually it's starting to really click. It's on Amazon Prime and Tubi TV, and it's actually called Quarantine Girl, and it's a wonderful examination of what we've all been through and how it's all affected our mental health, whether you even have prior conditions or not. Everyone's mental health has been tested, morphed, and just we're all in this together as far as how much it has weighed on us. And it's this movie is going to be like a time capsule because we forget all the things that they said about it and didn't know about it, and things changed. And we were talking about that a little bit earlier, all the convoluted advice and information we've been given. And that's why I think people are so conflicted and divided about their response and what they want to do about wearing the mask. I mean, I always just believe science, and then I use my common sense to guide me through what I know the scientific side of it is. And also I've been very blessed in
So
the
Jim
entertainment.
Wynorski.
Yes. So what? So
Jim Wynorski, you said science. You trust science. So Jim
oh
Wynorski.
my God, he's one of the classic best old-time directors, writers, producers that we have. And the irony of it is, me being the B movie little diva queen that I am, I had never worked for Jim Wynorski until Bigfoot or Bust. And I think it's just what the world needs, actually. It is just full-blown, silly, wonderful humor, beautifully shot like a huge A film, gorgeous locations. We were up in the mountains on this gorgeous ranch in the woods. And it's with, just a bunch of drop dead gorgeous women that can act, and a fabulous cinematographer, editor, Chuck Chirino. And it's just going to be incredible. And I also got to work with one of my best friends, Becky LeBeau, who
I
I hadn't
know. I
worked with
just
in
heard from her.
ages. She is a doll. I mean, an absolute doll. We've sung together. We had a record deal together. We've been in music videos together, but this is our first film together. And she's also producing it, and we are just having a ball. And we can't. I can't wait till everyone gets to see it. Might even be my first real premiere and screening and all that stuff, instead of all the virtuals, or wait, which is virtual. Instead of all the digital, it might be actually real. All the others have been, online stuff, but I've been blessed. I have so many movies streaming on Amazon Prime and Tubi, and
So I guess the big question is it Bigfoot or bust?
just have to see it, baby. It's a surprise twist that I don't think anyone will see coming. And I love my character in this so much, I can't even tell you. It's Daisy Dukes fun. That's all I'm going to tell you.
We'll talk about Bigfoot or bust in detail here for a minute, but I do got to bring one thing up though, because I noticed that you're close friends with a lot of people I've interviewed, like Christine DeBelle.
Yeah, she's one of my, well, she's my first girlfriend that I ever had moving to LA. She was the first friend I made that was female. And
Is
we've started a ton of movies together, and we do all these autograph shows together. We've been so blessed. David Dakota started that. We started doing his movies together, and then we started doing Gregory Hatanaka's movies together. So we're in a Lifetime movie right now, The Wrong Mr. Right. So
Well,
that was pretty cool.
Christine was actually, I started doing the podcast end of my show in 2015. And she was one of those guests on that first year I had. And
Beautiful.
she's the reason I watch Meatballs.
I know. She's wonderful.
I know I'm supposed to watch for Bill Murray, but she is so much better looking.
I've been told that about Sudden Impact from some fans that are even huge fans of Clint Eastwood. They say that I'm the reason they watch Sudden Impact.
Yeah, but I do I like Christine, and I was happy to have her on. I know I got an autograph in the mail from her too, from Meatballs. So yeah, when I watch Meatballs, it's like they never had anything like that at camp when I went, because I always wanted to leave camp, but I mean, if they had Christine DeBelle there, I might
Exactly.
have stayed. Because I thought she was gorgeous. She still looks great.
Absolutely.
Yep. And you mentioned Sudden Impact. It's funny because I did a tribute to Nancy Parsons back actually the same year I interviewed you, 2017. I
Wow.
had her daughter, Elizabeth Hipwell, on the show because we're talking about Porky's and
Mhm.
how funny Nancy Parsons was. And I'm still in touch with her daughter. She was such a delight to have on, and we talked about what Nancy Parsons was like. What was she like to work with?
Well, I didn't have any scenes with her.
Okay.
All my scenes were, of course, with Clint directing it and everything, and my scenes were with the main bad guy. It was like my scene was to establish him, and it was my first dramatic role ever. And it was just an experience that I learned so much, got so much. I mean, my gosh, it basically kept me in the loop as a working actor forever. From that was one of those roles that they're like, oh yeah, get her. So it was pretty
Isn't it
cool.
amazing? Clint Eastwood is what, he's what, 90
I think
now,
he's in
and
his
he's
90s.
he's
Yes,
still working.
I know. It's fabulous. He's one of
Yeah,
the
like
best directors ever.
yes, he is. I think Clint Eastwood is great, but it's like um when I heard how old he was, it's like he's still going. He's still
I know,
making movies.
I know. It's
It's
pretty great.
fantastic. Yeah. I'm waiting to see him do Dirty Harry in the nursing home.
Well, hey, you know what? Stranger things have happened.
Him sneaking out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What was it like working with him as a director?
Oh, it was like professionalism, you know, lessons. And first of all, he loves actors so much, and the respect he gave me as a young actress also taught me to trust in myself. And when he told me that um that he was thrilled with the scene, and I think he made some kind of comment like, you know you're as beautiful inside what I'm getting, and you're acting as you are, blah, blah, blah. And it was just, and also just the efficiency of all his first takes. And then the subtle direction that made everyone so, confident in themselves to give him what he wanted, because that's the key, I think. And the greatest directors do that. Mimi Leader does that. I just got to do The Morning Show, the huge hit on Apple TV Plus that was groundbreaking and made history, winning all those awards on its virgin run. And she directs you with pure love. I mean, it's like you just feel so loved that there's no way you could give anything but your best. So yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, and I also remember, you got to work with Rodney Dangerfield, and
I
I
sure
was,
did. I
yeah.
sure did. Yes, on the Godson, and that was just so much fun. We got to do physical comedy in that, and it was towards the end of his life. So I feel very blessed that I got to work with him. And the same with Leslie Nielsen. I did a huge commercial campaign with him right before he died too, and he
Oh, I
was
think
just
he's hysterical.
Oh, he was a hoot. He was like it was like working with a toddler. He was such a little prankster and so unpredictable and so wonderfully full of life. It was great.
Well, it's funny because Becky LeBeau worked with Rodney. She was in Back to School. Remember, he
Yes,
says,
yes.
"What's a bath without bubbles?
And,
Bubbles."
well, it's really funny. I have two girlfriends in that. Leslie Scarborough, who went by Leslie Huntley, she's also in that. And then um, years later, we met on the set of The Naked Cage, and Leslie and I, and then I got Leslie also in the film that I starred in, War, Women Against Rape, and
Mhm.
we call that movie the Brothers movie because it was Patrick Swayze's brother and Frank Stallone's brother and Dick Van Dyke's brother. It's like all the brothers. It was Jerry Van Dyke, Don Swayze, and Frank Stallone. And of course, they're all brilliant and wonderful in their own right, but we girls have to give everyone a nickname.
She was in Back to School as well.
Yes. Hmm.
Who was she in Back to School?
She's in the shower. I know
Oh,
Becky's in the tub, and Leslie's in the shower. There you go.
the one where he says, "You're perfect."
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Oh, I know
Sorry.
it was. You
I
haven't
know.
seen Back to School?
I never saw it. I've seen bits and pieces, and it flashes in front of me, but no, I never saw it. I wasn't friends with them yet, so
Oh, wow. Wow.
I haven't seen half of my own stuff. Literally. I mean, I'm not kidding. I really haven't. It's life starts moving forward so quickly that a lot of times you just let it go and go on.
I should see if I can get her on the show because Back to School celebrates its 35th anniversary this year.
Oh, I'm sure they'd both do it. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Well,
absolutely.
Becky LeBeau, I have heard from.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she said she's willing to do it. She's got a big project she's taking on right now, she tells me. So,
I
but
know what that is.
yeah, but well, I heard from her and I was trying to book her because she told the times that she was available during the day. She said afternoon Pacific time. I was like, perfect, perfect. And I was trying to book her, but I wasn't hearing anything back. So I went through her webpage to message her again, and that's when I heard about the big project. So I said, no worries. It's an open invitation. There's no deadline. I
Absolutely. And,
just,
and also when the movie comes out, you should have all of us on because it's like a slew of gorgeous girls. I'm telling you, it's like
oh.
kind of crazy.
So it's a big project, Bigfoot or Bust.
My lips are sealed.
Your lips are sealed? Well, you
On
know
that
what?
one.
I'm gonna have to do that. I'm looking forward to having Becky on. I gotta reach out to your other friend Leslie.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I know who she was in the shower. It's a small C, but boy, when you mentioned shower, I remember. I remember. I just remember the cop saying, Bad day for you, and Rodney said, "No, good day for or good day for you."
You're talking to someone who never saw it, so I can't comment.
Oh, yeah, Back to School's hilarious. I love that movie. Yeah. Before we talk about Bigfoot or Bust, though, you mentioned your other movies, and I'm like, I want to get H.O.T.S on Blu-ray, but for some weird reason, is it not available on Blu-ray?
I would think it is actually. I would think it is because that movie had a huge theatrical release and a huge, regular TV run, and it's a cult classic. So I know there's some way to get it.
Because
I,
I've been trying to find it online. I can find it on DVD, but I'm like,
huh,
I'm trying to get Blu-rays.
yeah, I
You,
would think it would be. I would think
you
so.
know, I've interviewed Sandy Johnson from that movie, and she, of course, was Judith Myers in the original Halloween. And I'm still in touch with Sandy. I had her on in February this year. I had her on the year before. She was one of those 30 I interviewed before the lockdown. And Sandy spoke very, very highly of working on H.O.T.S, and I told her, of course, I had interviewed you from it, and she had a great experience. You remember working with Sandy?
I do. I mean, the football, the culminating strip football in Hots was one of the most grueling and yet hysterical and wonderful. We that was shot over like I think a week. I mean, it took a long time. And yeah, we had lots of laughs on that one. Lots of laughs.
Sandy is a lovely person because I she did the Doubtfire Face challenge. I donated to one of her charities, which was a first responders to 911. I donated to that charity in return for a Doubtfire Face challenge for suicide and depression awareness.
Mm.
And her challenge was so funny. It involves taking a pie in the face, and you nominate three people. And of course, she nominated three people from the industry that she worked with. And her husband was dressed up like Michael Myers. Well, and he put
That's
the pie in
funny.
her face, and
That is funny.
it was so awesome to see her do that challenge, and she was so funny, and and I donated to her charity. I should throw that out to you, and you could nominate some of your pals.
I don't do pies in the face. Sorry. Don't
What's
do
wrong with you?
it.
I'm secretly judging you.
You can do it openly if you like. I don't care. I don't do pies in the face. I don't do anything that could ever possibly injure my eyes. I just don't do it.
That's why you close your eyes.
Mm, nope. No, I'm leaving here the minute we're done to go do a PSA for hashtag hate stops here, the anti-bullying campaign that Demi Lovato and a lot of incredible celebs have donated their time to. And I'm honored that they asked me to go do a video. So
You go wear one of your letters from H.O.T.S.
no, I will not.
We got to talk about your new projects because you've got a ton of them.
Yes,
But we got to talk about especially Bigfoot or Bust. I had Jim Wynorski on the show. I love the fact. Here's what I love about him is that he'll speak his mind.
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I
Oh, he's
love.
hilarious. When you're being directed by him, it's either that was great or that was terrible. It's quite wonderful.
Oh, I'm
You
gonna
know where
tell
you,
you.
you know where you stand, and he comes up with some wonderful suggestions and frames, and then it's up to you to fill it, and it's a lot of fun working with him. We
Yeah.
created we created an incredibly great character for me together, and I'm very proud of it. I can't wait till everyone sees it. It's super funny.
Oh man, I am. when I see his posts all the time. Like I know, like for example, Chopping Mall was his big one, and of course he did some of these porn parodies like the Bear Wench Project, and
I know.
I had a fun time just ribbing him about that. But I love how openly straightforward he is. If he doesn't like somebody, he says it.
Absolutely.
I love that about him, and I always take time to look at his post when he puts up, and his new title, Bigfoot or Bust, and I'm like, I bet I know what the bust is.
Exactly.
Because it's got you and Becky LeBeau and some other girls in that, and
Yep.
I,
The rest of the main cast is Christine Eugen, uh, Rocky DeMarco, um, let's see, Cindy Lucas, and Gail Thackeray. So yeah, some really beautiful girls are in this one.
I'm surprised he didn't get Kelly Maroney in that.
I know I see their posts between each other, and I know Kelly because we did the whole book tour for Invasion of the Bee Girls together, and she knows Jim. I think yeah, since Chopping Mall, I guess yeah. So I don't know.
I just got
He wanted specific. Um, he always knows what he has in mind, no matter. He's like David Dakota. They like to switch out, the people that they love to work with.
I just got this in the mail from Kelly.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah, yeah. She even had a picture of herself holding that up,
I love it.
Yeah. No, I love Kelly. Kelly's hilarious. I could, I could watch her read the phone book and I could laugh at her.
Hmm.
But yeah, Jim Wynorski is. What did you say that book was? Invasion of the Beat Girls?
Invasion of the Bee Girls. Jules Shepard wrote it and put it together, and it's amazing how many times at autograph shows people want me to sign that. So
I
yeah, it's
didn't
pretty
hear of
cool.
that. What
Oh,
is
it's
that book?
fantastic. Yeah, you can get it. It's sold online really easily. You can find it.
Invasion of the Bee Girls. Kind of
You
like
got
that
it.
1973 movie, only it's about actresses. And
I
you're
don't
in it
know.
and she's in it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even count the girls that are in it. Yeah, lots of girls are in it.
I'm going to have to look that up.
You'll love it. It's great.
Okay. Yeah. So, Bigfoot or bust? Do you guys fight Bigfoot?
Yeah. I'm not giving any plot info really away. You have to see it. It's going to be great.
Do you guys fight with Jim Wynorski?
No, of course not. He's our fearless leader.
Well, you know what? I love his imagination, his and his ideas. Like
Hmm.
I wish I could be that as straightforward and blunt as he is. And I love that he just speaks his mind and says what he thinks. And I'm like,
Yes,
Bigfoot or bust. I love his titles to his movies.
I know. They're great.
I'm waiting for the crossover. Bigfoot versus the Bear Winch.
I think we're doing well. There's talk about an alien movie next, which I'm really hoping. So
With
we'll
him?
see. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I'm liking
It's
that
been
idea.
mentioned. It's been mentioned.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am going to go down here and look at your IMDb because and if
Awesome.
there's any of these projects you can't talk about, just let me know
Okay.
because I don't want to get you any trouble. But Quarantine Girl, of course, we had mentioned.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and talk about
It,
working on that
oh my God. Well, first of all, that was the beginning of when everything was really locked down, unless you did it in even crazier circumstances than the current COVID rules on all the sets. So he did this clever thing where some of it was shot, we did it by Zoom. We did it was a lot of it was shot by Zoom, wherever somebody was living. And then
Uh-huh.
when we did studio stuff, it would be like everyone would be like 2 rooms away from my isolation, because I play a newscaster with another side to her, but you'll have to see the movie to see that. Um, and I was the only person in the room when we were shooting it. Everyone else was like super far away. It's really hard to explain. Then the rest was green screen, but um, it was just so innovative, and it made me so proud to be an actor during this time. And I'm so proud of the wonderful director, Gregory Hatanaka, and Nicole D'Angelo, who wrote it. And I think she might have co-directed that one, because they do that a lot. But we've done so many movies together. We also did a film called, well, right before lockdown, we did a bunch of films that then all started streaming at once, which is a rarity for an actress to have that all at once, which was really cool. And that was Choke, Heartbeat, Acrylic, that is a fabulous comedy about dueling nail salons, and I star in that. And then Body of Night, which is a kind of twist on 50 Shades of Grey. And I'm getting ready to do another movie with the actor producer of that one, Jason Toller. I'm getting
Uh-huh.
ready to do a movie called The Wrong Sarah with him. And that's also Gregory Hachinaka too. They're all partners. And we're doing a movie called Amityville Cop
Uh-huh.
next week. I play a real ballsy detective in that, and I cannot wait to bite into that dialogue. It was originally written for a guy, so I love when things happen like that, because it's just a whole different perspective on how you're allowed to use your instrument when it's whether people think they're being the same writing for women and men, it's never the same, because I've done it once before also. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then also I've got a film that I shot in Florida with Bobby Carradine, called
Uh-huh.
Nearly Departed, directed by a wonderful director, Bob Cook. And that's also on Amazon Prime and Tubi. And kind of an Alice in Wonderland romp called Darling Nikki, that I play a really marvelous character in that. That they're all on Amazon Prime and Tubi. And let's see, I just shot a film called Alone with a wonderful writer, producer, director, actor Les Mahoney. That's not out yet. And I also did a movie, Awakening of Emmanuel, and that's not out yet either, but they're coming out soon.
I'm seeing something on here. I never saw this before. It says banned, exploited, and blacklisted. The underground work of controversial filmmaker Shane Ryan, Samurai Cop 2. It's
Yes.
I haven't seen this, but I know that
Oh, you
Tommy
haven't?
Wiseau.
You have to see it. It's one of the best farce movies. It's as good as Airplane. It is okay. It was a sold out premiere in the days before COVID, and literally every single person in the audience was howling, laughing out loud. I was, and it was my movie. I was in it. It's the most surprising, wonderful thing you will see in a long time. You will be so entertained, and the music is so great, and the acting is just, it's wonderful. And Bai Ling was wonderful in it, and everyone, and Chris is in that too. And in that, I play a role that was originally written for a man. So it's really a wonderful film, and Shane is incredible. And Shane and I star in Choke together too.
Bei Ling, of course, was in a film with Kelly Maroney. What was it
I have no
60,000
idea.
feet of Exorcism at 60,000 feet, I think it was called. She was hilarious in that. Tommy Wiseau was my first interview on this podcast, and he's in this.
He is so wonderful. He was, we when we did our Q&As about Samurai Cop 2, he was just the most gracious, wonderful guy to work with. And we have one scene in it. I'm not going to give it away.
Uh-huh.
We have a scene in it where I'm supposed to be embalmed, right? Sitting
Uh-huh.
up in this queen's chair, embalmed. And the director, Gregory Hatanaka, kept saying, Lisa, don't move. This is really crucial, blah, blah, blah. He was so hilarious that the entire crew was laughing their asses off under their breath. Can I say asses? Sorry.
Sure, go
And
ahead.
I
Go ahead.
and that was the best acting I ever did, that I didn't lose it. It was so wonderful. You have to see it. It's great. In fact, when James Franco did his big movie about Tommy Wiseau's movie, The Room,
Yeah.
he used our scene as like promo things that he showed on the when things were all over the internet promoting it. It was pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, Christine DeBelle is in this as well.
Yeah, she's got a little cameo in this one.
You guys should be in the whole thing
Oh, we're in the whole thing a lot in other movies.
because you guys beautify the screen.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, I'm seeing that down there. Yeah, I gotta see that because I've interviewed a few of you from that movie. But I actually haven't even seen the original Samurai Cop yet, and
I haven't either. That's way before my time. That came out like God knows when. So
yeah,
long ago.
yeah, you hear about all these things, and but you mentioned some of these titles, and you want to go into detail, like Choke, for example. I looked that on here. Talk about that.
Well, that was the first film that I've been involved with, like not just acting. I helped with so much of it that I'm actually one of the producers on that. And it's just a really wonderful exploration of taking something too far.
Uh-huh.
And also the movie, all the characters are presented in a certain way that you think they're going to go in one direction and they go in another. And it's just what can happen if you get too obsessed and maniacal about something, where it becomes a cult instead of something that's helping you. It can become detrimental. And it's shot so beautifully, and it's like a love letter to LA, just the locations and the way it's lit. And it was just a very different role for me, and I love doing it.
What's great about this is that you were in all these cult films like H.O.T.S and Sudden Impact, Private
Well,
Resort.
Sudden Impact isn't a cult film. That's like one of the greatest huge A movies ever made.
Oh, come on. Is it really as big as H.O.T.S? Come on.
Well, it was the biggest. Just, I appreciate you loving Haas too. And actually, I say this and I really mean it too. There isn't a single film that I weigh against the others as far as the A films or the B films. I love making movies. I love indies, and basically the old title of B movie is what you call any indie movie now, because it's either the huge, triple
Sudden
A
Impact is your
level, or
most mainstream, though, right?
no, I've done a lot of mainstream. I did Dragnet, I did The
Oh, yes, you
Doors.
did. I
Yeah,
forgot about that Dragnet.
yeah. And I was in The Doors, and I was in what else is mainstream? There's a lot of mainstream. And then I've done tons of mainstream television too. So
Oh, yes, you were in the Doors.
I was. I was the only groupie that wasn't a slut.
You know what? It's funny because I've interviewed somebody who was in the concert crowd scenes, and he talked about that. Mark Bennett.
I don't know him, but
Yeah.
I probably shot the same days as him. I shot for weeks on that movie. So much was edited out. At first, in fact, it's the only movie where every bit of what I shot in front of the camera wasn't used. And I was just blessed to be in it at all for residuals and the fact that I'm in it. But even I think even Michael Madsen's gorgeous wife, Janine Vizignano, I think it's her. It's one of the main stars. Their beautiful wife had a role in it, also actresses, and was cut out. So I just feel blessed to be in it at all. So it was chaotic but wonderful.
And I've met Dan Aykroyd years ago from Dragnet. I got him to sign my Blues Brothers Blu-ray. So yeah, but I was going to mention too. Happy Hooker Goes to Hollywood. You were in that as well.
Yes, Canon. It was my first Canon film. I then did The Naked Cage as well, and I'm in the book, actually. There's a huge best-selling book right now on it chronicles all of the Canon films, and I'm in two volumes for both different movies. And yeah, Happy Hooker was incredible. I mean, I got to work with such big time stars like Phil Silvers and Richard Deacon and Martine Beswick and Chris Lemmon, Jack Lemmon's son, and I became very close on that. And it was great. It was my second leading role.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of these, you must get approached by a lot of these at cons. How often do you get to do the convention scene?
Well, before everything went nuts and we were in lockdown from a world pandemic, well, I came into the interview scene, the autograph shows, just a few years ago because of Chris DeBell. She goes, I can't believe you're not doing these. You have to do these. And I was doing two a year because you don't want to get saturated, and it's a lot of work preparing for them. It's not as easy as it seems. Like you have to make sure you have all the right stuff. And um, but I was really on a roll where I was getting, more and more lucrative, wonderful ones. And then the lockdown happened, but it's opening up again very soon. And I'm hoping to do some very soon again.
Actually, the year I interviewed you, I had not traveled outside New Brunswick, never traveled. And then actress Lisa Langlois from the movie Class of 1984, she was on my show a second time, and she got talking to me about travel, and she said, "What's stopping you?" And then she invited me to Toronto to assist her at her table.
Toronto is beautiful. I've shot in Toronto with my
Yeah.
gorgeous girlfriend, Cindy Valentine, who's a big music singer, composer,
Hmm.
and she's from Toronto, and we've done stuff together in Toronto. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
But it was my first time in a plane. It was my first time outside New Brunswick.
Oh my gosh, one of the greatest perks of being an actor for me is traveling all over the world. I love it more than anything. I traveled so much even during COVID with things. So yeah,
I
I
had
love
so much
flying.
I had so much fun. I've gone every year since. I keep in touch with
Good.
except last year. It's like last year because of COVID, but so I ended up working through the pandemic. I didn't take any time off work because it's like, what's the use of taking time off work? I'm here
And
at the
there's
apartment
nothing
when,
else to do.
yeah,
I know. I
yeah,
know.
but yeah, where have you been around the world that's memorable? Where have you been?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm getting ready to go to Texas again. I've shot a bunch of stuff down there for this wonderful company, Walker Cable Productions. And we're doing this faith-based film called The Author with a super great script.
Hmm.
And we shoot outside of Houston in this gorgeous little town called Conroe. And there's tons of lakes and just it's gorgeous. And the town itself looks like it could be from anywhere in the past, from the turn of the century even. It's so beautiful and quaint, and it's close enough to Houston if we need the city stuff. And I shot a huge PSA commercial that was a huge campaign. It debuted during the World Series, and I shot all of that in Eastern Europe, in Poland and Slovakia and the Czech Republic. That was incredible. I've shot in Hawaii a bunch of times. I've shot in England. I got to shoot in Paris, France, which was my dream come true. I did a web series there. I shoot in New York a lot. I got to do Law and Order, shoot Law and Order SVU there, which was amazing. I've shot in Florida a lot, most recently Nearly Departed, but I also shot Private Resort with Johnny Depp, Andrew Dice Clay, and Rob Morrow and Hector Elizondo there. And I mentioned Toronto. I had a record deal where I got to live in Germany. Gosh, I could go on and on and on and on. I shoot in Arizona a lot. Um, I adored Sri Lanka and India. I didn't shoot there, but I was there for a wedding in India, and then we also went to Sri Lanka. Let's see, where else? Where else? Mexico. Got to shoot a film in Mexico,
But
where
not
James.
here in New Brunswick.
I have not been to New Brunswick, no, but I'll go anywhere. I love to travel.
Yeah. No, it was the first time I traveled, and I loved it. And I was the kind of person that would get homesick if I
Well,
went
you know what I
anywhere.
say? I say if everyone was forced to travel, there'd be no hatred, no wars. Because there's something about when you're out of your comfort zone and you're having to communicate, especially when it's a different language or whatever, where it's just all about just the real base stuff where I believe deep down inside, 99.9% of the human beings on this planet are good people and they just want to exist in love and peace. So if everyone had to do that, in fact, there was a program actually where they took juvenile delinquents, like bad juvenile delinquent kids and teenagers, and took them to Europe, and it 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 rehabilitated a lot of them. It's pretty cool.
So, what's it like? Because you've got so many credits here on IMDb that's got the either post-production completed, pre-production, filming, and what's it like working during the quarantine or during the pandemic?
It has made me love and appreciate what I do and realize how noble a profession it can be to be doing something that is connecting us, that's entertaining us, that's giving us food for thought, that's just whether it's making you cry, laugh, scream. It's it's a profession I'm very proud of because at its best, it is amazing. And just the effort that the cast and crew and producers and actors, we all had to do it together. And it's gnarly because when you're acting, you have to be really relaxed to give your best performances. And it's so stressful to be learning all these new rules and especially life and death rules that could save our lives and keep us from getting ill. So it was a challenge that everyone rose to. And this is every set I was on. And I was on some bigger budgets and low budgets. And everyone was just remarkably resilient, resourceful, and really kind to each other. It was a beautiful experience, actually.
We got the jump on the pandemic. We're in the what they call the yellow phase here, which is
Mhm.
right next to the green phase. If we can get to the green phase, we'll be
Right.
home good.
It's much better here in California now. Most things have reopened and it's limited capacity for a lot of indoors, but most people are getting, I mean, a lot of people are getting vaccinated.
Are you
Uh,
vaccinated yet?
I'm halfway. I do my second shot the 11th.
Is Christine DeVille vaccinated yet?
I think she's completely, but I'm not sure if I talked to her. A lot of my friends that are just a little older than me are
Uh-huh.
all completely vaccinated. I actually kind of I didn't jump the gun. I mean, it was honest. I said I was working with children because the movie I'm going to be doing in Texas is with a bunch of teenagers and young people. So my husband, who's also in it, um, and the producers that are really good friends of mine, they were all like, please try to do it. So I did say I am working with children, which I don't feel guilty about at all because 2 days later it was my turn practically, but then the appointments weren't available and I wouldn't have been able to get even the first one. By the time I leave, I'll be fully vaccinated. Yay.
So what's it like doing a faith-based movie?
I've
Because
never done one. I've
I
never
come
done one.
I come from a Christian family. I read
It's
from my Bible, and
it's my first one. It's my first one, and it's basically it's when you read the script, it's not like hitting you over the head like you must believe in any one thing or even believe. It's just a wonderful testament to having faith and questioning our existence. And I just I'm so blessed to work with people that I love so much that are such beautiful people, whether they're Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Muslim. I have been just around spiritual people all my life. And I'm not even talking religion. I'm also talking just a person that believes in just being a human coming from love and not hate. And that's just the message that I always try to put out there whenever I'm talking to anyone about anything, even concerning my career or whatever. I think that's just, words are very powerful. And if you can say, I love you instead of I hate you, it's really much better.
So you excited about working with your husband?
Yes, we worked together on a few things. He's actually he was a big actor before we met. Lots of TV stuff, and he made television history actually because he was on Cagney and Lacey,
Hmm.
a straight male portraying a gay character, and no one had ever done that before, especially on mainstream TV, and it was done just beautifully. And he's also done a bunch of movies, and we did a few together. And his main thing now is he's like one of the top landscape architects like in the world, but he acts now, it's kind of handed to him, that people that know his body of work and stuff like that. So yes, I'm thrilled to be doing it. I don't think we have scenes together. We might have one in this one, but we got to star in another film in Texas called Divorce Texas Style, directed by Corbin Timbrick, who's also one
Okay.
of my best friends. And we had this fabulous role, where we play lovers and go off into the sunset together. It was really fun. But
Well,
Sam Furstenberg was the first director to cast us together. We did a couple of movies for him, Motel Blue with Sean Young, and oh gosh, and Soleil Moonfry and Robert Vaughn. And then we did Agent of Death with Michael Madsen and Eric Roberts with him also. And that's because of one of my best friends is the top casting director, Craig Campobasso, and he hooked us up with Sam for an audition, and the rest is history.
I'm in a movie with Eric Roberts, and I didn't even have to leave Fredericton here.
I love it.
I don't know if you're familiar with James Balsamo.
I'm not.
Okay, you'll probably hear from him eventually. He goes to I cameo in 9 of his movies, and I haven't even met him. But he's been on my show twice. And he goes to the conventions and he gets celebrities from these conventions to cameo in his movies. And I remember him sending me a message one night and he asked me if I would shoot my own death scene on my phone for Cool as Hell 2. And I was like, I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, Linnea Quigley is in that, and I met Linnea at
I've done lots
Horrorama.
of shows with Linnea. Yeah,
Yeah, I met her at Horrorama, and I got her to do my show on my birthday, so I got her to sing for me.
good for you.
Yeah, but I did that, and all I had to do was just send him the footage up my phone, and he spliced it into the movie.
Cool.
And then he asked me if I would shoot 2 scenes, and he told me what he wanted me to do for It Wants Blood.
I don't know any of these. So again,
Well,
you've
It
got me
Wants
lost.
Blood, my scene was gonna be watched on a television by Eric Roberts, and he sold me on that.
Okay, I can't remember the film, but there's some huge A film in the 90s that has the star of the movie watching H.O.T.S.
Oh,
And I can't remember the name of the film right now, but it was a huge thing. My agent had to really call SAG, and because of my agent, we all got paid, all the girls that were in the scene that they showed. So that was pretty amazing.
yeah, I wanna get H.O.T.S on Blu-ray, it's just not popping up here.
Well, where there's a will, there's a way. I'm sure you'll
There's a
find it.
will. I'm gonna put you on that. That's your
No, I don't care about my stuff. You find it. I just
What?
do the work. If you guys want to watch it, you're on your own.
Yeah, but you could use that. You could flash those pretty eyes of yours and that beautiful red hair, and you could talk them into putting that out. Look, who's gonna listen to me?
Trust me, it's hard. We're actors now. We have to figure out ways to get all of our scenes and everything. We have to bribe the directors and producers
Yeah,
half the time. So it's rough. It's a
yeah,
rough world out there.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you, you got we got to talk about Amityville Cop. Now, does that have to do with the Amityville horror, or they just put that title kind of in as
That's
a
one I
cat?
can't talk about yet because
Okay,
I start shooting in about a week.
okay,
Yeah,
that's
but it's
okay.
definitely it'll be on Amazon Prime and Tubi TV, and it's gonna have some really interesting twists, and also it's there's gonna be a sequel. That's all I'm
Ah,
gonna say.
nice. I'll have to have you back on when that happens. Well,
Yes.
according to this, you're currently shooting Melody's tune.
I'm done with it actually, and
Okay.
I think that might even be an error. That might be out now, and that's with Daniel Yost, who wrote Drugstore Cowboy.
Okay.
Wonderful actor. I mean, wonderful director and writer. And I also did a movie for him called A Star for Rose with John Savage and Debbie Allen a few years ago about the homeless. And
Hmm.
that was it's a real special film. And Melody's tune is very interesting too. It's about uh, a child who is leading a horrid childhood. So she invents characters in her brain, and she talks she befriends people on the street. She befriends her dolls, and you never know what's real and what's in her head. It's quite wonderful.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And I think it's out. I'm not sure, but yeah, directed by Daniel Yost.
And you got, of course, Heartbeat. I'm looking at a lot of these, A Christmas Love, I'm
Yeah, that
looking.
was my first Christmas movie. That was a lot of fun to shoot too.
Yeah, I bet you shot it in the spring and had to get into that Christmas spirit, huh?
Yes, but it was so doable.
Because I remember,
Actually, no, we didn't shoot it in the spring. We shot it towards, I think we shot it around Thanksgiving, actually.
okay.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I
Beautiful
just remember
experience.
listening to the commentary track on Gremlins, and they were talking about the fact it was so hot when they filmed it, but was the scenery, the Gremlins, of course, is shot during at Christmas time, like the
Right,
movie takes
right.
place, and they said this guy would come out, one of the producers, and say, "It's cold." All the actors
Yes,
had to pretend they were cold, even though
yes,
they were
yes.
sweating.
Oh yeah. Oh, I started a movie called Legal Briefs for the
Mhm.
USA channel, and we were actually on a fun thing. We were on Rhonda Shear's Up All Night show. It debuted
Oh, I
on her
love Rhonda
show.
Shear.
But the coolest thing is I just did her show again uh, because Becky LeBeau and I did it for Bigfoot or Bust. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, during shooting this movie, Legal Briefs, we had to be on a raft in a pool. Well, someone forgot to heat the pool. And believe it or not, it gets freezing cold at night in LA. It was like the water was probably, I don't even know, because it was like 49 degrees out and it was freezing in that pool. And we had to act like we were just la di da di da. We're
Lisa,
having such a great time.
Lisa, you know
Yes.
49 degrees here is pretty hot.
I know. You're in like polar bear country.
You know what? What you consider cold, we consider pretty scorching.
I know,
I
but
laugh at
trust
you
me, it
people
was
in
cold.
California.
But be submerged in water that's like 30. Okay, that's not good. It's very cold.
But Becky LeBeau was Bubbles and Back to School. Just add Bubbles. That's what Rodney said.
That's right.
We talked earlier about charities. Do you got any charities that you want to plug on here that you're involved with, or?
God, I do so many. The Children's Hospital of LA is
Hmm.
so near and dear to my heart because I had a little cousin who battled leukemia there and won. She's perfectly healthy, a gorgeous teenager
Awesome.
now. And but I used to volunteer there and read to the children there. And anything to do with children. I have so many that I contribute to all the time. And I'm about ready to do this PSA for hashtag hate stops here. And it's really targeting kids and teenagers to let them know that, hey, great things are going to happen.
Yep.
So yeah, and I'm looking at the clock because I have to go.
I know.
I've got
It's
to get
why
to
I
the
got you to
studio.
bring that up. Do you have a
Thank you,
web page
sweetheart.
or any place that people can reach you?
I'm on Instagram
Mhm,
at Lisa London LA. That's my Instagram. And then
mhm.
on Facebook, I have Lisa London Fan, which is my page on there. And that will always refer you to different links and things that I'm doing and let you know what's going on. And of course, IMDb, you can always go on the International Movie Database and see everything that's going on. And I don't have a website because all these platforms that I'm on, they seem to kind of be doing
Yeah.
the trick for me. And things change so quickly and everything. I'm just kind of like, I use social media.
Well, if you see Becky LeBeau, tell her that you had done my show because I had reached out to her and tell her I don't bite too hard. And if you see Christine DeBelle, of course, tell her hello from me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Before I let you go, can I get you to do a plug for my show?
Of course.
Yeah. Just state your name and say you're watching or listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Okay.
Oh, well, you could just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me when.
Go for it. You look
Okay.
lovely, by the way.
Thank you.
You're very youthful. I like the
Yeah.
denim jacket and the long hair. It
Thank
makes you look
you.
younger.
Well, this is how I look.
Well, you are 39.
I know exactly.
That's why I tell Christine DeBelle 39.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Are you
Go
ready?
for it. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lisa London, and you are listening to and watching Greg Gilbert, Python Paradise. Peace out.
Love you, Lisa, and I would love to have you back next year whenever
You
this
got
gets.
it, sweetheart. You
And if
got
I
it.
have my Zoom upgraded where you could have more people, because
You
I
only
guess
do
it,
the one thing, yeah.
yeah. If I have it upgraded, I'll have you and all those Bigfoot girls on here and talk about how they beat Bigfoot up the
Exactly. You'll see.
way Kurt Russell was beaten up at the end of Death Proof.
Right, exactly. All right, my darling. Have a gorgeous rest of the day.
God
Bye.
bless you.
You too.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
sweetheart.
Bye bye.